Okay, so now we're on to our fourth lesson in our fractions unit, and this is called Creating Equivalent Fractions. And it's based off of Math Focus 5, pages 226 to 229. So the question on the page asks, Matthew and Lauren are both looking at a display of moccasins at Glenbow Museum. Matthew says that 6/12 of the moccasins have red beads. Lauren says that 3/6 of the moccasins have red beads. Now the question is, are Matthew and Lauren both correct? And the way to figure that out, first of all, is to express 6/12 with counters. So I have 12 counters here. I've shaded 6 of them to represent the moccasins that have red beads. So that's Matthew's example. Now to turn 6/12 into 3/6, what I can do is simply group them together. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 pairs, okay? And of those 6 pairs, 3 of them have red beads. So what's happening here is Matthew is looking at each moccasin individually, whereas Lauren is looking at the moccasins in pairs, like we look at shoes in pairs. So 6/12 and 3/6 are equivalent fractions, which means that both Matthew and Lauren are correct. Now, if I start with Matthew's fraction, 6/12, and I divide the top number, the numerator, and the bottom number, the numerator, by the same number, in this case 2, because 6 divided by 2 equals 3, and 12 divided by 2 equals 6, this proves that 6/12 and 3/6 are equivalent fractions. If I start with Lauren's fraction of 3/6, and I multiply the numerator and denominator by 2, I go 3 times 2 equals 6, 6 times 2 equals 12, so I get 6/12, which is Matthew's fraction. This proves that 3/6 and 6/12 are also equivalent fractions. Okay, so for number 1 checking, it says Matthew says that 8/12 of the moccasins have no fur. Lauren says that 4/6 of the moccasins have no fur. Now both are correct. However, they want me to show that 8/12 is equivalent to 4/6 using a diagram. So I draw 12 counters here to represent the moccasins. And I shade 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 of them to show the moccasins that have no fur. That shows 8/12. Now remember, Matthew saw the moccasins individually, whereas Lauren saw them in pairs. So what I can do here to show 4/6 is pair up 2 moccasins each. So now I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 pairs. 1, 2, 3, 4 pairs that have no fur. In this sense, 8/12 is equivalent to 4/6. And I've shown it pictorially. Now I can also use the second part of the question to ask you to multiply or divide to show that both students are correct. So if I started with Matthew's fraction, I would have to divide, remember, I take the numerator and the denominator and I divide it by the same number. In this sense, I'm dividing it by 2. So 8 divided by 2 equals 4, 12 divided by 2 equals 6. If I start with Lauren's, I would multiply because she has a fraction that is made up of smaller digits. So 4 times 2, the numerator, so 4 times 2 is 8, and 6 times 2 is 12. Remember, I have to multiply the numerator and the denominator by the same number to get an equivalent fraction. If I do something to the top, I have to do it to the bottom. And I can't do it with a different number. That's how I make equivalent, or create equivalent fractions. Thank you for listening, and if you have any questions, you can contact me on Microsoft Teams or email.